Hackography, where tech meets art.
Hello everyone! Today we are going to unbox this beauty, which is called Panasonic Lumix GX80. It's called so in Europe here. In Americas it's called GX85. In Japan it is GX7 Mark II. The same camera, 3 different names. And I just received this box with this beauty inside, and this camera is a killer. We will talk a little bit about the pros and cons of this camera, but it is hugely popular right now, and the model is not new anymore in 2019, so it's very often on sale. You can get it still new. Otherwise there is always option to receive a used model, used camera. If you get it or bought it as a used one, there is another video on this channel which is revealing you how to discover the shutter count of this camera, so that you know how many times it was used, how many photos were taken with the camera. Very useful to know. And now we are switching back to the newly arrived Lumix GX80 or 85. Let's just at first observe how the box looks like. This is the front side of the box. There are some highlights listed here on the box itself. This is how the camera looks like. I have received this camera together with the lens, which is coming with the camera as a standard lens, as a kit lens. It's a zoom lens. Here's the left side of the box, some description in several languages. Here are the serial numbers of the equipment, of the camera body and the lens. Here are some more highlights. Let's just quickly go through. So the camera has a 16 megapixel sensor. This is the amount of points of the viewfinder, and also the monitor, I guess. No, here is the monitor. There are 1 million points, dots on the LCD monitor here. And there's something about the autofocus technology. It's a contrast autofocus. It has a double stabilization. One is inside in the body of the camera, another one is in the lenses, if you use this kit lens or any other stabilized lens. Otherwise, if you're using non-stabilized lens, what is happening frequently with the fixed focus lenses, then it's just only in-body stabilization. It has a touch screen and some kind of low-light autofocus performance, time-lapse function, light composition, whatever it is, I don't really know what it is, 4K live cropping, and a panorama function, and it has wireless technology inside, so you can connect with your smartphone to the camera through the application which Panasonic provides and do some interesting stuff with this remotely. And this is the bottom of the camera, and this is the back. No, this is actually the front. This was the back where all the interesting features are listed of this camera. Okay, now let's open the box. It was never opened before, at least so I believe. Here are some documentation, probably some warranty information. We are here in Germany, so the first sheet is in German. There is an English version and probably several other languages. If you are, if you're willing to read it, good luck with this. We will move forward. Here, some additional items are listed, which you can optionally buy if you want. We don't have any of them right here. And this is the camera itself. It's packed in this fabric, white fabric. Let's take it out of this fabric and here it is. So the lens is already attached to the camera. It is not very usual for cameras with this separable lenses. Most of the times they are being shipped separately in the same, still in the same box, but separately packaged. In this case, and this is something what also different for this camera, it's shipped, everything is already attached, and you can of course detach. Let's detach the lens. You have to push this button here if you don't know it already. Push it here and just, oh, it was, yeah. So basically what I did right now, I just unlocked the zoom lens. It was, I should grab a little bit closer to the camera body and then start to scroll to in the left, to the left, counterclockwise direction, and here it is. Here's the lens. Here's the camera body. If you ordered just, there are different kind of packaging or different composition of these cameras and lenses. So the basic one is without any lens. If you ordered it without lens, it will arrive probably something like this, and I would expect a cap here, body cap, so that the sensor is protected. This is, I guess, no, this is not the sensor, this is the shutter which closes the sensor. Behind this shutter, behind this curtain, there is a sensor hidden. So it's protected right now, but for the protection they will also deliver a plastic cap on top. This is how the camera looks like from the back. And it has a movable screen here. It's not fully articulating. You cannot, I guess you cannot watch film yourself and watch the screen while doing it. You cannot really put it on to the front, you know. This is, but if you have some very low angle, you can tilt it, and it will be much easier to take a shot or film a video. This is a viewfinder, electronic viewfinder right here on the top left side, and it has this sensor here. Whenever you come closer, it is in the automatic mode, it will basically turn off this big screen and turn on the viewfinder, internal viewfinder. It's very handy, comes very handy, you know. And this is the button of the cam. The battery is not inside, it's somewhere there, still in the box. And here, this is the place where you have to insert your memory card. This has the buttons, control buttons, right here. The control wheel here. It's also pressable. There are some functions hidden behind this press. And this is the mode dial. It's by default, it's in P, in the P mode. But you can switch it to any other mode. And this is the release button here, right here on top. And around the release button there is another scroll wheel. Goes in any direction. If you are surprised that there is no flash here, flashlight inside, it is there. It's hidden right here. And you can open it by pressing this button here. Oh, it even works without power, interestingly. So it's a mechanical closing, and it works anytime whenever you really press it. It's a mechanical button, like this. Very cool. And you can actually, it's a trick, you can tilt this flash to the top. Yeah, pretty much only to the top. If you are getting too much light out of it. Basically, if you don't want direct shadows on your object, you can tilt it a little bit to the top so that it will, especially when you're indoors, it will create this flash, and the flash, the light will be bounced from the tailing back to the object, and it has just a special effect on your picture. You can try it out. This is a hot shoe. You can attach some external equipment here, like external flash, for example, stroboscope. Yeah, this is the camera body. Looks good. It's a compact. I have middle-sized hands, and it feels really very nice. Very comfy, and there is this piece here which just allows you to grip the camera in a really very secure way. What I do also here with this kind of cameras, I always remove this part. I'm not normally wearing any stripes or anything here, but be careful if you're doing it like me, because your camera can easily drop. Always put it back in the bag if you don't need it at the moment. Okay, this is we are done so far with the body itself. Let's talk a little bit about the lens. It is 12 to 32 millimeter lens, and the F number is here. It's from 3.5 to 5.6. It is really very compact. If you compare to similar entry lenses, they are way more longer, and this one is really made to be really very compact, especially for this kind of cameras. Just whenever it's attached to the camera body, it looks really very compact. You can basically put it in a small bag, and that's it. This is your whole equipment. The cameras like this compact cameras like this, are intended to be carried around all the time, or most of the times. It's just not really big. You can put it in the bag. I would recommend a separate bag for the camera itself, not that you don't scratch the screen or just the camera or the monitor here, and then put it in the bigger bag with the rest of your stuff. But you can carry it around all the time. It's not really very heavy. And what else? I mean, it's also great for street photography. Whenever you are practicing street photography, trying out, it's also good. It has this kind of low profile, and it's not the first camera of this model which I got. And whenever I took photos, nobody actually looked at me. And when I have my DSLR camera and taking pictures, at first it makes some noise. And with this camera, it's an important thing, you can completely switch to the silent mode. So the silent mode uses only the electronic shutter, and it produces virtually no sound whenever it takes pictures or videos or whatever. And in this silent mode, you just take a photo. Nobody is really actually looking at you, and it's very practical in many situations. Okay. Just I want to mention a couple of pros and cons of this camera. One huge advantage of this camera, it's ultra compact. And also the lens which is delivered with the camera, this basic standard lens, is also very small and designed to be really small. If you have a choice to order the camera body only, or order it with a lens together with this lens, and the price difference is not that huge, and you don't have this lens, or you just don't have anything else, I would always recommend it to take it as a set, because the additional price for the whole thing, for the whole kit, is normally not really much more than only the body itself. So yeah, I will be using this camera pretty much frequently with this lens, but I also have several fixed focus length lenses, like for example this one. It's 25 millimeter, very strong lens, with very powerful, with the f number of 1.7. You can take a very nice portrait pictures or landscape or actually whatever you want, and it performs really well in the low light situations. The link to this, and I would always recommend, it's also very on budget. This lens doesn't cost really much. It's somewhere between $100 to $200, and it is a Panasonic lens, and especially intended for the micro four thirds system. The link you will find in the description below, and I highly recommend this lens. I'm using it most of the times with my micro four thirds cameras and very satisfied with it, and it's really very cheap if you compare the performance to the price. Okay, so it's very compact, the camera itself, and the delivered lens as well. The price right now in the middle of 2019 is very low for this camera. It is somewhere, you can get it as low as for $400 or euros. It's nearly the same. They're often on sale. Keep an eye on this camera if you want to get it. Just monitor it from time to time. It can get really cheap, and then you can grab it. So the price is low, and another advantage of this camera is this in-body stabilization, image stabilization. Basically, also this lens has its own stabilization, optical stabilization, and the whole kit has a double kind of, how they call it. Let's have a look. They call it dual IS image stabilizer. Here, right here. So it's kind of 2 times the stabilization, which is really great when you're on the move, especially when you're taking some videos with this camera or shooting some B-roll or whatever, you know, just on the move, maybe slowly. It really does a great job stabilizing the whole picture, especially when you use both the stabilized lens and this body, which already have stabilization inside. This is a huge advantage of this little tiny cute guy. Okay, so but there are also a couple of disadvantages to this camera. I mean, for some people it will be a kind of huge thing, for some people will be not so critical. This camera doesn't have an microphone input here. If you, right now, for example, I'm filming this video with a camera. It is G7, Panasonic Lumix G7, or sometimes called G70 in some regions. It has a microphone input, and I'm using a lavalier microphone to record my voice. It will not be possible with this camera, but then you can either use the internal microphone, which is kind of also good but not as good, or you can use an external recorder, which is also a good option anyways if you are very much into video recording and movies and video production. I would also recommend to get a audio professional kind of or semi-professional audio recorder. It can help you in many other situations, and then you can put together separately recorded voice. And with this kind of audio recorders, they almost always have a microphone jack, so you can use any kind of external microphone to record your voice on the recorder, and then put it together with the video, and here you have it, a good sounding audio and also a good picture. Okay, and another disadvantage which I want to mention, this screen here. It is tilting, but it is unfortunately not fully articulating. As I told you before, you cannot really film yourself if you are in front of the camera. The best place to be with this camera for you is behind the camera, because then you will see the picture. There are some workarounds you can use, but yeah, basically for filming myself I just use another camera which have a fully articulating screen. For example, this G7 or G70 has the screen, and in this case it's only, this is the widest angle you can go with this screen, like this. So basically, if you are putting your camera to the bottom, you can see from the top the picture pretty nicely, because you just tilted your screen to the top. To the bottom, it is this angle you can get. If there is a crowd and you are filming something, filming a video or taking a picture, and you're just stretching out your hands to the top, this is the angle you can still see nicely your picture whenever you're taking it or controlling the image recording. So that's it. That's it to the disadvantages. I counted 2, and maybe there are more, I don't know. But I'm really, before I was using so frequently this camera, and now when we have unpacked a new model, a new camera, I will be using it also much more often than the other cameras, because it's so compact. And the interesting thing here, whenever you shake camera, like this for example, you will feel some movement inside. Don't be surprised. Everything is okay, your camera is not broken. This is just internal image stabilization, just you know, shaking there. Yeah, it is still in the body, so it was not the lens. The lens is actually, yeah, it is also shaking a little bit. Could be the image stabilization of the lens, or some play in the lens, but it's all okay. Don't be worried about it, because first time when I kind of felt this shaking, I thought like, okay, what's going on there? Something broken? No, this is the system, which is 5-axis stabilization, which is going on somewhere here near the sensor. It's okay. There is no battery right now, and it's not working, but it has some kind of freedom when it hangs there, so it's shaking whenever you shake the camera. You can feel it. Okay, let's check what's still. And I'm sorry if this video is just too long for you, but you know, I didn't want just to unbox this video soullessly. I wanted also to share my experience so far with the camera, and tell you a little bit about the camera itself. This is the strap. I'm not using them, but thank you for giving it to me. And this is a micro USB cable, which I have probably thousands of them already. And this is the European power supply, which we got. Actually, in Europe they have different systems as well, but this one is pretty popular, I would say. And the power supply has an USB output. Basically what you have to do, you have to attach your USB cable, this big end, to the right here, to this hole, and then you will get your power here at this end. And this end, this is interesting, I will tell you a couple of words about it. This end you have to attach to your camera body. We'll tell you a couple of words about the charging of this cool camera. This is the battery itself. By the way, we haven't used a knife so far. This is the right time to use it. Great. Okay, this is the battery. It is, I'm trying to find the model name of the battery, because different cameras, or even within one Panasonic family, they still have different batteries for every single model. And in this case, I think I cannot really find it. I will figure it out and write it here below. What's the name of the... Anyways, it just has this 7.2 volts and 1025 microampere hours, I guess, and 7.4 watt hours. Okay, this is the battery. It goes right here. Your SD memory card goes right here. That's it. Now you're ready to go. almost. Okay, I will tell you a couple of words still about the charging of this camera. What is really interesting, because normally what you get with this kind of cameras which have detachable lenses, you get separately a charger where you put your battery inside, and you can charge your battery separately. You just put it into a charger and charge the battery. In this case, there is no charger attached here, right here. The box, you see the box is already empty. There is no charger. So, I don't know, is it good or bad, but this is how it is. What you have to do, you have to put this power supply, this charger to the socket, power socket, attach the USB cable, then put your USB cable right here in this hole, you see, to this to the hole on the right side. It's a USB charging, and then the camera will get the power from the USB cord, USB cable, and will actually charge your battery. So it is pretty much the only way. Alternatively, you can try to get separately a charger for this battery. I don't know if Panasonic provides one. Could be that they also sell separately this battery charger for this model. If I will find it out, I will put the model name here or in the description section of the video. Otherwise, you can, if Panasonic doesn't provide anything like this, I'm pretty sure you will be able to get a third-party one from a third-party manufacturer somewhere of the eBay or Amazon or somewhere else. And especially if you are planning to carry around several batteries, I would then, in this case, I would really strongly recommend to get an external charger for this camera. This is the special thing about the camera, this thingy with the external charger. You have to know it. It's not delivered. If you receive the package and there is no charger inside, don't be surprised. This is not the bug. This is the feature. But yeah. So that's pretty much it. You know, you will also, because the screen, not the screen, but the lens is already attached to the camera body when it's delivered, you will not get, in this setup, you will not get the body cap here. It will be not included. You can, I guess, get it separately if you need one, or if you're ordering only the body, most probably they will deliver a cap. I hope so. Would be stupid not to do this. And when it comes to the lens, the only thing you will receive to protect the lens is this lens cap, but nothing for the back of the lens. Normally you would have a cap here on the back as well to close this side. It's not there. In this setup, it's not there. Most probably you can. So basically, this back caps in the Micro Four Thirds system, they're all pretty much interchangeable. It means you can take a cap from one lens and put it on another lens. It should fit perfectly. So if you have already a couple of caps from other lenses, because you will not be like simultaneously storing all the lenses, at least one you have to attach to the camera body, and in my case I'm attaching this 25mm lens right now. So basically when I want to use this lens, I would put a cap from this lens to this lens to protect it. We have unboxed this camera now, and I tried to explain you as good as I can what's going on there, the situation with the charger, and also attached lens to the camera body, that it's delivered together. It's very specific to this camera model or to this delivered setup, and if you enjoy this kind of videos and want to see further videos, please don't forget to subscribe to this channel and press this bell button as well to get the updates. Otherwise, if you like it, just give me a like and let's stay in touch. And I wish you a great time with your new Lumix GX80 or GX85 camera. Take great pictures and videos. Bye bye.
Hackography, where tech meets art.